Peace, 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 everybody. We're gonna give it like 2 more minutes for everybody to get in here. Shout out to everybody who's up, who's rocking with me. This is something I just wanted to do real quick while I got the chance to. Thank you. Okay. Shout out to everybody in the building. We can get started now. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I know it's super late, but it's no. I just got this is my first opportunity to do this, so I'm doing it now. And whoever, you can watch the replay. Again, I don't expect nobody to stay up to see this, but I just had to make this video. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to J Bone. Shout out to the Visionary. You already know, Red, Black, and Green, BYB. Shout out to WT. Thank you for the fire emojis. Thank you, Visionary, for the fire emojis. Salute. Yes, it's 3:30 where I'm at. Yep, AM. This is my only time I'll be able to do this, so I got to do it now. I'm not gonna be long. Shout out to AZ in the building. Shout out to 3 in the building. I'm in New York. Where are you? What state you in? But anyway, shout out to everybody in the building. You know, for you who don't know, today is the 4th of July. No, yesterday was the 4th of July. Today is July 5th. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to celebrate July 5th. And I think everybody should celebrate July 5th. Matter of fact, I'm going to explain myself a little bit better. I'm going to just watch it. I'm going to just play this first. Oh, you from Wyoming? Shout out to you. Here, I'm just going to play this first. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's just get started right now. All right. Y'all can see that? All right, cool. Let's get started. Boom.
The 4th of July commemorates America's independence, but we know that 250 years ago, freedom was only for a few. That's why Black people used to mark Independence Day on July 5th. On July 4th, 1827, New York became the 7th state to abolish slavery. It was a moment that Black people wanted to celebrate, and rightfully so. But how could they do it in a way that made other Americans take notice? After lots of discussion, the newly freed African Americans decided to hold a community-wide celebration on July 5th. They knew there would be plenty of parades and partying around the 4th, which meant there would be lots of drinking. And white people and alcohol can be a dangerous mix, especially when racism is involved. But that didn't stop more than 4,000 Black New Yorkers from marching down Broadway with bands playing music, going to the historic African Zion Church. There, abolitionist William Hamilton gave his acclaimed Emancipation Address. It was one of several celebrations across the state marking the end of enslavement. In the decades that followed, abolitionists continued pressing for emancipation across the country. They included Frederick Douglass, who delivered his famous speech, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July," on July 5th, 1852, in Rochester. These demonstrations were intended to hold up a mirror to the so-called land of the free and home of the brave. Today, July 4th is complicated for Black Americans. We still fire up the grill, watch some fireworks, and even do some drinking ourselves. But for us, the pomp and circumstance that decorates the rest of the country still comes with a side of irony. The 5th of July holiday is largely forgotten, especially with the wider celebration of Juneteenth. But what do you think? Is it time to run it back? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The 4th
Shout out to the sister. Y'all heard that. She did some good work. But as you heard what she said, is it time to run it back? And I believe it's time to run it back. I believe Black people should be celebrating July 5th again. I do believe it. The only thing I say I'll say I disagree with in this video is that she said July 5th got overshadowed by Juneteenth. That's not true. People just started celebrating Juneteenth like that. Like, people been stopped celebrating July 5th way before people even found out about Juneteenth. But yes, I think Black people should start celebrating July 5th again. Because, you know, like I always say, and sometimes people get mad about me when I say this, New York is the epicenter of Blackness in America. And it's been that way for like over 100 years straight, 120 years straight. So I think we should. Because as you can see, Frederick Douglass is not from New York, but he made sure he came to New York to deliver his "What is the 4th of July" to a slave speech. And he could have did that anywhere, but he chose to do it in New York on July 5th. July 5th was a major holiday for Black people. Again, it was a New York holiday, but it became an everybody Black holiday. And it became an everybody Black holiday organically. Unlike Juneteenth. No disrespect. I'm not throwing no shots at Juneteenth, but July 5th is that day. And I think we should run it back. And I want to also say, I agree with her what he said about the complicated relationship. As a matter of fact, I don't even think it's really a complicated relationship that Black people have with July 4th. Because when I was growing up, I thought July 4th, the 4th of July and Independence Day was two different holidays that fell on the same day. 4th of July was Black people holiday, and Independence Day was Happy Birthday America holiday, white people holiday. That's what I thought. I thought it was two holidays that just happened to fall on the same day. I had no idea that when Black people were celebrating the 4th of July, they was also by extension celebrating in the Independence Day. I had no idea that growing up. No idea. Because we never did no Happy Birthday America, flag waving America. We never did none of that on the 4th of July. None of it. So now, well, from my perspective, I think Black people should celebrate both. I think we should still celebrate 4th of July, but celebrate it as like pretty much like a Black holiday, as just a Black get-together holiday, and celebrate July 5th as a reminder that we were still slaves when this nation was born, that we are still fighting for freedom in this nation even to this day. So that's why I'm doing this. I want to celebrate July 5th, and I'm going to make sure I push July 5th because, as you know, I'm doing the BYB, and a part of that political project, the first B, Black, is also to bring back all Black holidays, like the holidays that Black people used to celebrate in this country, to like really push their Blackness. I believe we should start celebrating those holidays again. And that's why I will be doing that. I will be pushing all Black holidays. So this is also a part of the political project of mine. Shout out to V David in the building. Yeah, shout out to V David in the building. I didn't know too much about July 5th myself. Like I said, I started learning about Black holidays by studying Frederick Douglass. That's how I found out that Black people, it was a time in this country where Black people were celebrating Haitian holidays through Frederick Douglass. Like, Frederick Douglass is very important. Very important. Very important. Very important. Shout out to everybody in the building. That's what I really wanted to go to live. I wanted to show that. Also, I don't know. I'm still up and I'm not sleepy. So maybe we could go over and see how everybody else is celebrating the 4th of July, what they got to say about it. Let's see. Let's see. Again, we're not gonna be too long because it's late, and I just really wanted to get that out there because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stream or make videos early in the throughout the day because I'm gonna have my kids. So I just wanted to get this out there mainly. But yeah, let's move on to this. Let's see. Let's see what the Bozo in Chief got to say about the holiday. Let's go. Shout out to everybody in the building.
All right, we're in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause to you. Round of applause to you, ladies and gentlemen. We are definitely in the building. I'm Tariq. You are you. We are us. We are we, and we are here. So I'm going to have everybody give me a retweet. If you can retweet this space, that'll be absolutely phenomenal. We have the hottest spaces, and it's going to be a hot one tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, clean the room out. I see Cousin Jerry in here. I see Grinds TV. I see the lovely Stephanie in the building. I see Miss Nikki the God in the building. I see Brother Brice in the building. Miss Skyline in the building. Sir Mike in the building. Who else? Welsing's Fan Club in the building. That's our non-FBA sister, but respect to her. Brother Hakeem in the building. I see FD in the building. I see Reba in the building. Respect to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So right now, family, this is the anniversary of the United States. This is the 250-year anniversary of the United States. Shout out to Empress. Shout out to Queen Mother Empress. Respect to you, beloved. So the country is celebrating America's 250th year. Family, have y'all noticed a lot of the Democrats have been trying to tell us that we, foundational Black Americans, we shouldn't be celebrating. Every time the 4th of July comes up, and now this is a big celebration because this is the 250th year anniversary, well, they're really doubling down. The Democrats in particular, they come out telling us why we shouldn't celebrate it. Oh, it represents this where everybody was enslaved. We were enslaved 250 years ago. This is not our country. This is the white man's country. That's the white man's holiday. Oh, we shouldn't be celebrating it. And what's her name? What was the bald head lady? Was it Ayanna Presley? She read some speech by Frederick Douglass called "What is the Slave?"
All right, I gotta stop it there. I'm sorry, family. I'm sorry. Let me stop it there. Exactly, WT Coon content. Like, first of all, the Democrats never tell Black people they shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July. It is Black people saying Black people shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July. Let's say that again. It's not the Democrats saying Black people shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July. It is Black people saying that you shouldn't celebrate it. You see how much of a Republican shill he is? You see how much of a bozo he is? This is flag-waving American talk. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. So, again, he's about to talk about Ayanna Presley. I think I retweeted her reading of it. Matter of fact, let's go to that right now before we hear this bozo even talk. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let him finish talking.
What to the slave is the 4th of July. So she was reading that. But one thing about that, she left out the last part. Because in the last part of that speech that Frederick Douglass gave, he said the U.S. Constitution, and he ultimately claimed that the American project is for his people. I get on that later.
Tariq you see how Tariq is just trying to mix and match words? The whole point of him making that speech, especially as we just watched, he made it on July 5th, was to condemn America. And Black people, again, celebrating July 5th to stand in opposition to America and the founding of America because of our enslavement. You can't make this up. You hear what he's saying, right? Tariq is just lying. He's like, this is what we're talking about. They was literally burning the American flag and hitting colors 3. Tariq was one of the main pushes of this ain't our country. If you were somebody who served in the military and said you proud of America in any way, shape, or form, they attacked you. You know how I know that? Because they attacked me when I was talking about African American exceptionalism. And that, yeah, America, there is no such thing as American exceptionalism, but it's African American exceptionalism. We are an exceptional people, and we have done exceptional things against all odds in this country. So we should celebrate that. And they was attacking that when I was pushing that. They was attacking it. They was attacking Martin Luther King, civil rights movement. They was attacking it all. Now he's trying to tell you to be a flag-waving American. You can't make this up.
Now, why are the Democrats so desperate to try to sour us away from standing on American business? Now, we have a Democrat here. Hold on, we got a Democrat.
Hey, Tina, what's up?
I see Gabriel wanted to get up. Let me get Gabriel in here. He's a Democrat. He's Haitian.
Before we do that, let's go to Ayanna Presley. Shout out to Ayanna Presley. Let's go to the sister real quick. Shout out to
him more than all other days.
Let's go to the sister real quick.
What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. In 1852, Frederick Douglass, an abolitionist, orator, and formerly enslaved man, delivered one of America's most famous speeches. What to the slave is the 4th of July? He addressed a nation celebrating freedom while denying it to millions. With moral clarity and urgency, he exposed the stark contradiction between America's founding ideals and the lived reality of Black people, calling out a democracy that had excluded those it claimed to liberate. As our nation celebrates its 250-year anniversary, that tension still resonates. Black Americans continue to confront systemic inequities that have been legislated and codified. Douglass's words endure as both a mirror and a mandate, revealing uncomfortable truths while urging us to fight for an America as good as its promise. Fellow citizens, pardon me, allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? What have I or those I represent to do with your national independence? Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? And am I therefore called upon to bring our humble offering to the national altar and to confess the benefits and express devout gratitude for the blessings resulting from your independence to us? The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me. The sunlight that brought life and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me. The 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice. I must mourn. To drag a man in fetters into the grand illuminated temple of liberty and call upon him to join you in joyous anthems were inhuman mockery and sacrilegious irony.
Shout out to the sister for that. Let's go back to Tariq, because again, she just that was I don't even think that was the whole speech, but she read most of it. Because remember, I played the whole speech before. That's not the whole speech, but I played it before. But as you heard, so now how is Tariq going to switch those words into somehow Frederick Douglass was saying we should be flag waving Americans and we should be meat rotting the country and also hating on Black immigrants and other Black people? How you going to flip that into that? Oh, shout out to Tina for setting it off with the 199. Much appreciated. Thank you. I know I'm doing it late. I know I'm working late, but I had to do this now because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it later. Thank you so much, Tina, for setting it off. Much appreciated for all your support.
But he's a Democrat. What's up,
Yes.
Gabriel? How you been, Gabriel?
Hey man, it's just been dubs lately, man.
Oh man, you gotta go here. He's a Democrat.
Wait, let's bring that back. Let's go.
Standing on American business. Now we have a Democrat here. Hold on, we got a Democrat. I see Gabriel wanted to get up. Let me get Gabriel in here. He's a Democrat. He's Haitian, but he's a Democrat. What's up,
Yes.
Gabriel? How you been, Gabriel?
Hey man, it's just been dubs lately, man.
Oh man, how's your family? Everything good with the family?
Everything is great with the family, man. Us Haitians, we are straight, man. Birthright citizenship is here to stay. It's the law of the land as well.
Yeah, but that TPS is biting you in the ass, though. How's that working?
The TPS, I'm not worried about the TPS because there are probably over 300,000 Haitians with TPS in the country, and Trump does not have the infrastructure or the political will to deport all those people in the next 2 years. And with the blue states and blue cities obstructing the federal government, especially when it comes to immigration and the whole ICE situation in Minnesota, all that shit's really died down. All that anti-immigration shit has really died down. That shit's really done, and we're on to the move. We're on
Think
to a
so?
new era. Yes.
Dude, man, have you seen them announce they're taking some of your folks off their Social Security and welfare? They're taking their benefits. Yeah, have you
They're
seen
just
that?
cutting, Tariq. They're just cutting around the edges. They're not they're not really cutting it into immigration. And there's going to be a Democratic president in 2028.
Who?
More immigrants is going to
Who?
My man John Ossoff here in Georgia. Come on now.
Well, is that
I don't know about all that. His man in Georgia. I don't know about that, but everything else he was saying, he was definitely teaching. Definitely teaching. There will be there's too many people. The Trump administration is too incompetent. There's too much. The Democratic states are doing too much obstruction, and there will be a Democratic president. The only way there's not a Democratic president is if Trump steals the election, or there's no election. But otherwise than that, there's going to be a Democratic president in 2029, and they're going to just let everybody back in. And we might even see mass amnesty too. So he can't do. So even if Trump or not Trump, some other Republican ever gets elected again, he can't strip those people of their citizenship. Mass amnesty. Shout out to everybody in the building. Yes, Tariq is anti-immigration.
is that the front runner?
I mean, he's second right now in the Cauchy odds. He's my personal favorite because that's my state. But like him and I think he's like behind Gavin Newsom. But I think John Ossoff will be a great candidate in 2028.
Interesting. Hold on, let me get Aboriginal power in here. Let me get a bit of Aboriginal power in here. Yeah, Aboriginal.
Hey, peace and blessings, brother Tariq. How you doing?
Tariq, whoever Aboriginal power is a bozo, because Tariq attacks the Aboriginals constantly, except when he's trying to make money off of them. So to be claiming Aboriginal, you a bozo, and to be following behind Tariq, you a double bozo. But you see how Tariq, every time he can't beat somebody in the conversation because it's too blatantly, it's just too intelligent. He got to start bringing other people in.
Good, man. How are you, sir?
Man, just sitting here listening to this conversation, man, how a lot of these people have delusions of grandeur. And it's like a lot of these immigrant groups, the tethered class, like to put up a fight to stay in the homeland and didn't even put up a fight to stay in their own homeland. I find it quite weird.
This is our home. We are here to stay, and our numbers will continue to grow. We got Mamdani in New York. He's cooking. He's popular, and the momentum's going to continue to grow even more. Like, come on.
No, ain't no momentum going. A lot of you guys ain't even making it past your normal society. See, what y'all do is do this false illusion of comparison. Oh, we coming here and we're surpassing you. But when we start comparing your percentage, like the top percentages of your groups against our top percentages, we out surpass y'all.
I never said
a basic alignment.
FBA don't got no top percentage. Like, your name is Aboriginal Power. Show me the Aboriginals in our top percentage. Show me a black person who would be a part of this quote unquote top percentage who would call themselves Aboriginal. What top percentage? And most of the quote unquote black top percentage, a lot of that is black immigrants. You do know when they say black and they do that, they just mean anybody black, right? Unless they specifically said they segregated it out, they just mean anybody black. Anybody black in America. You do know the vast majority of them, I'm not going to say the vast majority of them, but a disproportionate amount of them are black immigrants, right? Who's the most accomplished black person in American history? Barack Obama. Who's the most accomplished black female in American history? Kamala Harris. Who's the highest ranking black political office holder at the state level in America right now? Governor Wes Moore. Who's the highest ranking black leader in Congress ever? Hakeem Jeffries. Like, so what top percent are you talking about? Who is this top? And none of them, I bet you, is calling themselves Aboriginal. But yeah, let's keep it going.
Of just comparing your lower class to our upper class, we out-achieve y'all. Our middle class against your middle class.
I haven't made a comparison between FBAs or Haitians. I'm just saying, like the immigrants or Haitians, like because I'm Haitian, we're doing well for ourselves. There's sometimes there are even revitalizing sometimes Haitian immigrants. Look at Springfield, Ohio. The Haitian immigrants revitalized the town over there. So
Springfield?
Yeah, Springfield. Yeah.
How they revitalize Springfield?
Because there was a business owner they interviewed in Springfield, show up on time, they work hard, they don't do drugs like the people they have in Appalachia, like the white people they have there in Appalachia. And so the Haitian immigrants has revitalized that town.
They're not giving reach to say they revitalized it. They just showed up to work on time. It's not.
No, they did revitalize the town. They definitely revitalized the town. They did. That's what the mayor said. Like a lot of those businesses would have to shut down. That's why you think they fighting so hard. You had the governor, who's a Republican, trying to go at Trump, telling him he can't do the Haitian deportation because it's going to hurt the state too bad. They revitalizing a lot of that. The visionary, yeah, I didn't say Colin Powell because I'm talking about people who are alive right now. I'm not gonna just start name it because that'll create a whole nother thing. It's like, oh, you naming a bunch of old people. I'm gonna name people in positions of power right now. People alive right now. Exactly, Tina. Even the mayor of Springfield said so. The governor too. The governor of Ohio said so too. Exactly, AZ. They said they want more Haitians, not less Haitians. Oh, shout out to Nano in the building. Of course, I'm not celebrating already. That's why I said, I already told people. I said, if everything goes the way it's supposed to, that's what's going to happen. But you never know. You never know. Nobody knows what the future holds. You don't know if Trump finds a way to say he can run for a third term and then he just steals the election. You never know what happened. It might be a Democratic civil war so bad that JD Vance runs for president and he wins by like the smallest margin ever. You never know. But as far as the way it's looking right now, that's what's a Democrat is going to be president. If everything stay the same and stay neutral, a Democrat will be president in 2029. But shout out to you for that comment.
They're not doing drugs. They're showing up to work on times, and they're helping the businesses out there. It was a dying town before the Haitians got there, and now the town's getting back on its feet.
Springfield is Springfield. So
I'm just saying, Tariq, the anti-immigration rhetoric of saying mass deportations.
What he means Springfield is Springfield. What you talking about? You talking about the cartoon? That's Springfield, Ohio, Tariq. That was a dying area. You making it seem like like he said Detroit or something. Or Chicago.
All that shit is done, and that shit is died. It's not coming back.
You made it seem like there's a bunch of Haitian businesses out there. No, they're just showing up. A couple of Haitians there showing up to work. Y'all really put a lot of extra shit on stuff, boy.
I mean, Tariq, if you go to South Florida,
2 Haitians go to New Orleans. New Orleans is Haitian culture. The Haitians made New Orleans. Okay, y'all really put a lot of extras.
Tariq, you was the main one running around when you was attacking people from Louisiana, especially New Orleans, calling them Haitians. You was doing that. You said that it was a satellite for the Caribbean. Matter of fact, I'm about to play that clip. You know how I do. I got to make sure I play the clips. Shout out to everybody in the building. We got to look at that clip. You got to watch that clip of Tariq saying that. Let's see, where is it at? I need to make sure I keep these clips queued up because Tariq always saying the same lies. He's saying the same lies. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you hitting that like button. Make sure you supporting the stream any way you can. PayPal, Cash App, super thanks, super chat, super sticker, anything. Much appreciated. Here we go. Gifts, everything. But here we go.
You dig? Somebody said New Orleans had twerking, but remember, New Orleans, that was a satellite for the Caribbean too. That's a major satellite for the Caribbean because of the French. You dig? So we're calling.
One more time for the road.
You dig? Somebody said New Orleans had twerking, but remember, New Orleans, that was a satellite for the Caribbean too. That's a major satellite for the Caribbean because of the French. You dig? So we're calling.
So that's enough. Yeah, we can get back to this bozo. Tariq exposed in another lie.
Now, Gad, let me ask you this: why are the Democrats? And thank you, Aboriginal Power. Why are the Democrats trying to shame us, foundational Black Americans, into not celebrating the anniversary of the United States? What's going on with that?
I don't even think their Democrats themselves are proud to celebrate America 250 with everything that's going on. I think America 250 has become like a right-wing Trump celebration, and like it's kind of been dead.
That's not it. Again, this guy is acknowledging that there's a such thing as FBA. There is no people as FBA. There's no lineage. There's no ethnic group as FBA. That's one thing. Two, it is Black Democrats doing the same thing that they do every year. This is not new. This goes back all the way to Frederick Douglass, like we just played. This go back even before Frederick Douglass. Yeah, before Frederick Douglass, Black people there's always been a Black person saying that Black people shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July. This is not even new. This happens every 4th of July. And Tariq trying to make it seem like this is some democratic scheme to make Black people not be proud to be Americans.
I haven't seen any Democrats shaming anybody. You have any examples?
Yeah, I mean, Ayanna Pressley did that whole Frederick Douglass speech and leaving out the last part. Man, these people have been.
Oh yeah, I'm happy he said that. He said he asked Tariq for examples. Now he caught Tariq up because Tariq said Ayanna Pressley. I played the clip of Ayanna Pressley already. Did Ayanna Pressley misrepresent anything that Frederick Douglass said? The answer is no. Did she represent the sentiment of that speech? The answer is no. Even the day he gave that speech was a refutation of the 4th of July. Not only was the speech, but the day he gave it on July 5th. Bozo. Shout out to everybody in the building. Yes, V. David. Tariq definitely did phone a friend. Shout out to Vegeta in the building. And you are 110% right. You want to celebrate the day the white man established his own country on your stolen Aboriginal Indian land? This is y'all land. Y'all Aboriginal? Why y'all not celebrating y'all Aboriginal Day? Why are you celebrating the day, the country, the white man, the country that the white man created when he stole your land and made his own country on it? Why are you celebrating that day? Y'all say y'all know all y'all Aboriginal stuff, so y'all don't got y'all Aboriginal history to celebrate y'all own day? What's up with that?
Hopping online all this week talking Black folks shouldn't celebrate it because we were enslaved 250 years ago. They're using a lot of these shaming tactics.
Oh, Black folks shouldn't celebrate it. Oh, yeah, okay, I could disagree with that. I think, me personally, I think Independence Day is a great holiday. The fireworks, I love the whole pomp and circumstance. If you want to celebrate 4th of July, I'm going to watch some fireworks, got to go to a cookout. So, I guess.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you. Okay, let me talk. All right. Gabe has delusions of grandeur. But listen, these Democrats trying to shame us out of us celebrating the anniversary of this country. That's kind of a distraction from tangible deliverables. You know? They don't want us to have ownership.
So Democrats like Ayanna Pressley doing the same thing Frederick Douglass was doing. The thing that Frederick Douglass was doing is things that people before him was even doing. When it comes to America, is the Democrats trying to distract Black people from deliverables. You can't make this up. Like, there are adults who watch this. I always got to keep saying that. There are adults who watch this and listen to this and nod their head and say, yes, Tariq, you teaching. Yes, Tariq, you teaching.
And recognize our ownership of this land, of this country. You see, they want to dilute foundation of Black American ownership and equity. You cannot claim the equity of a company if you refuse to claim you helped found it. Foundation of Black Americans, we built the economic infrastructure of this nation, ladies and
What kind of nonsense is that? I'm sorry I keep stopping this, but again, this is not making any sense. So you telling me that by Black people just simply running around saying we Americans and we built this, that's somehow going to get Black people what? Reparations? That's going to make everybody bow down to Black people and say, all right, yes, Black people have acknowledged that they built the country, so now we must give them reparations. Now we must give them money. Now we must give them special privileges. Like, explain how acknowledging that Black people built the country is going to lead to any of these quote unquote deliverables. Like, explain. You notice he never explained how it's going to lead to any deliverables that he's calling, like tangibles, deliverables.
gentlemen. By them trying to discourage foundational Black Americans from celebrating the 250th year anniversary, the political establishment, they want to push us to voluntarily surrender our rights as the co-founders of the United States. So they have us acting like.
You saw how he just said that? Oh my God. He just said the co-founders. He had to force himself to get that one out. It went from y'all was the founders, y'all was the real founders, y'all was Aboriginal, y'all taught white people how to survive on the land, y'all the foundation. Now y'all co-founders. So now you and white people are co-founders. So the white people from Europe, the invaders who came here and colonized this land, settler colonizers, who dispossessed you of your land, enslaved you, all that, you co-founded a nation with them by being their slaves. You co-founded a nation by being slaves on your own land. Again, let you tell it, you Aboriginal, right? So somebody came here. That's like somebody came to your house, enslaved y'all in your house, and then built a nation on this house. And now you want to be recognized as a co-founder because you was the property of the person who built it. You can't make this up. A grown man just said this, and a bunch of grown people nodded their head with it in agreement.
Like perpetual guests, perpetual outsiders in our own country. That makes it easier to funnel resources to the newly arrived tethers. You see, watch the Jedi mind trick, ladies and gentlemen. See, the political machine, they run on leverage and reliability. See, if a demographic feels a sense of ownership and pride and civil.
Oh my God. So now it's the tether. Again, he can't talk without, first of all, tether's a slur. He cannot talk without attacking Black immigrants. So because Black people in America don't, quote unquote, take pride in the fact that they was co-founders of the nation, it makes it easier for the Democrats to give resources to Black immigrants. Shh. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Arrogance, they become unpredictable voters who demand returns on their investments. If they constantly try to do a mind screw on us, telling us that we are historically alienated, we are historically othered, the white people just don't like you in America. The goal is to keep us in a perpetual state of grievance and fear without any solution. And the alienated group is a captive vote bank that will continuously vote for the party that positions themselves as the lesser of two evils. See, that's why what's his name? Gabriel was like, well, yeah, the anniversary, that seems like some right-wing stuff. So yeah, the Democrats are trying to play good cop, bad cop. So if you celebrate the anniversary of this country, I guess the Democrats are trying to frame it as, well, you're celebrating slavery or whatever, so we're the lesser of the evil because we're recognizing that you were enslaved. That's a con game.
You're running the con game. Like, this was just so much babble, I don't even know how to decipher it. Like I don't even understand what you just said. Like, that was just straight babble. Straight babble. Shout out to Jackie. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you at. Salute to you. Shout out to you, Vegeta, because I was just about to say this. That black immigrants have become the Jews to FBA. They're the Jews now. Like, cause matter of fact, I had pointed this out already when I was talking about how the demagoguery and how FBA is basically just taking white nationalist talking points, neo-Nazi talking points. This is the wages of that. They crossed out Aryan, put FBA, crossed out Jew, and put black immigrant. Can't make this up.
Listen, shared patriotism and national celebration, that can create cultural bridges. But see, if foundational Black Americans.
Exactly, WT. Exactly. That's not, and it's not just him. I watch some of these other bozos try to make it seem like slavery wasn't that bad. Like black people was just disgruntled workers or something like that. Like, you can't make this up. Shout out to Nano. Yes, that's exactly what Tariq would say. He disrespect Marcus Garvey all the time. He disrespect all black immigrants all the time. Unless you giving him money, then you or he feel like he can't disrespect you because you got too much of a big following. Then you become a rider. Shout out to Cade Maiden. I can't really see your name too good, but I think that's Cade Maiden. I think that's Maiden. I don't have my glasses and I got the split screen. Is now a new member. Shout out to you for becoming a member. Family, if you want to become a member, hit that join button. That's a way to support the stream. That's a way to support me. Keep me going. Help me do this. Shout out to you again for becoming a member. I'm going to take a look at your name a little bit later to make sure I got it right. And if I got it wrong, excuse me. I didn't do it on purpose. Shout out to you.
If we embrace the 250th anniversary as a celebration of our own ancestors' survival and resilience and nation building, they think we might find a common ground with other working class or conservative people. The political left needs to prevent any of that. And again, there's some.
Look what he just said. This is, again, I told you. What did he just say? If we start celebrating America, we might find common causes with the other working class. Who is the other working class? White people. Tariq is right now pumping that black people become flag waving Americans so they could try to build bridges with racist white people. That's what he just said. That's what he just said. That's what he just said. See, people kept saying, oh, they not pro-Republican. Oh, FBA ain't about trying to be down with white people. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Like I told you, this stuff comes from ADOS, Yvette Carnell. Her whole shtick is about trying to be down with white people. That's why she introduced the term lineage. Because she's trying to claim that we and the white people in America, we are of the same lineage. We the same bloodline. Like she say, the slave master had two families. He had a black family and he had a white family, which would make us all the same lineage because the slave master would be the progenitor of the lineage. Can't make this up, man. Cannot make this up. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Y'all supporting the stream.
Dickhead right wingers. There's some cool ones too. Dickhead left wingers, cool ones too. You understand? I'm not a party person. I'm a personality person. So if you try to alienate foundational Black Americans from mainstream American celebrations, you will ensure that we remain politically isolated and entirely dependent on one side of the aisle, which is the janky ass Democrats. You understand?
How come the Republicans
and us telling us that we shouldn't celebrate the anniversary of this country, that narrative requires erasing the full scope of foundational Black American history. You gotta forget about Crispus Attucks. That's the first casualty of the American Revolution. You have to ignore the 5,000 plus black soldiers who fought against the British. We fought in the Revolutionary War, helped win the war. And also the way they funded it was from our labor.
That was that labor voluntarily given. And also, there were black people who also fought in the American Revolution, but they fought for the British because they was offering freedom. You forgot that? And did you also forget that the founding fathers double-crossed all the black people who fought in the American Revolution for freedom? Because there was a lot of black people who was promised they freedom if they fought in place of their master, and then when the war was over, they got something right back to slavery. You forgot that part? Oh, we got a troll in the building. I hope it was worth it. Delete and block. Exactly, Regita. Republican talk. Of course it's weird. Why do you think I be going so hard against these people? Because I know the true intent of the ideology. That means no matter where you go, no matter how you try to dress it up, you eventually going to get back to this point right here. Either you're going to make a beeline to it, or you're going to do a bunch of Houdini stuff. But at the end of the day is over. You're going to find yourself at this point attacking black immigrants, attacking Democrats, and trying to find common cause with racist white people. And bigging up the Republicans. That's where this is going to go. Every trip, every time. Every time. Yeah. I think he worse than Clive Davis. Because at least people could get a something out of Clive Davis. Something. Like they at least could get a haircut. Like, yo, Clive Davis, man, I can't pay my rent. I gotta buy some medicine. He did dish out some money. Tariq ain't dishing out a penny. Remember how Tariq tried to justify not dishing out no money to the young black sister, talking about, well, I don't know if you a tether or not. And oh yeah, I Tether's been out here trying to finesse, so I ain't giving out nothing to nobody. Exactly. He's a Republican shill. A Republican shill all the way. I'm pretty sure they do. WT. Remember that white man called in the other day to Tariq's show? Like, we covered that. And he was using the word tether, laughing and giggling with Tariq. Of course.
Do y'all understand that? We are pivotal to this thing from top to bottom. We were not just sitting on the sidelines. You understand? So by pushing this whole sit out the fourth narrative, they try to reduce a complex historic and heroic lineage of warriors and builders into some one-dimensional story of just, victimhood. So,
So talking about slavery is just promoting victimhood? Y'all heard what he just said. I'm going to rewind that. He just said talking about slavery is just bigging up victimhood. Reading Frederick Douglass and talking about how black people were still slaves on the 4th of July. So what does the 4th of July actually mean to black people? He said that's just victimhood talk. I got to rewind that.
And builders into some one-dimensional story of just, victimhood. So, a political party, they can't sell themselves as your savior if you realize that you own the keys to the house. See, the Foundation of Black Americans, if we view the 250th anniversary as a testament of our own unmatched resilience, celebrating that we outlasted the institution of slavery, we survived Jim Crow, we birthed the global culture, we operate from a position of strength, ladies and gentlemen. See, the left, they want our messaging to feel weak and marginalized all the time so that,
oh my God, babble, babble, babble. This is beyond chicken butt mouth. Now he not even just saying anything he is saying anything, but he's saying anything to try to justify Republican talk. And shout out to K Maiden. I looked into it. Your name is K Maiden. All right, cool. Because I had to zoom in, I had to look on my phone for your name. It's K Maiden. Shout out to you for becoming a new member. And you're a level 2 member at that. Much appreciated. Make sure you drop a comment. But anyway, let's get back to this.
They can justify its role as the necessary protector by saying, we're going to protect you by bringing you into the an accepting group of minorities. And these minorities are just as worse as the white supremacists. And they want to suppress our civic arrogance. See, this is all about managing power. See, when a group knows that it built the wealthiest nation in human history, that develops a healthy civic arrogance. That arrogance translates into political demands.
When is arrogance a good thing? And how does being a slave build political arrogance? What did he say? Like, build a healthy arrogance? I got to bring that back. Like, this is crazy.
Power. See, when a group knows that it built the wealthiest nation in human history, that develops a healthy civic arrogance. That arrogance.
Civic arrogance. Civic arrogance. You heard what he just said? It develops a healthy civil arrogance. Can't make this up.
Translates into political demands. A demographic that knows its worth don't ask for permission. You start dictating terms. You understand? So the constant shaming around the 4th of July, that's a psychological operation trying to keep our civic arrogance in check. See, this delineation is really whooping a lot of ass because now we're standing on lineage business. The Supreme Court was standing on lineage business, some of them. When you know who you are, you know that this is your shit. You start kind of checking a lot of stuff. And that's what we've been doing. We've been checking a lot of bullshit and they don't like it. You understand? We've been checking a lot.
Exactly. He did just say that. He said that, Rob. He said the minorities are just as bad as white supremacy. I'm surprised he didn't say if not worse. Or some of them are even worse. Or they worse in some perspectives. But that's probably coming later. Who knows? Like, you can't make this up. Exactly, Vegeta. Civic. Yeah, you meant to put civic. Yeah. Civic arrogance for being a slave and letting the white man get all that money that he didn't give none of it to you. None of it to you. Black people ain't getting no reparations. Like, you can't make this up. Like, come on, man. You can't make this up. Man, I told y'all, man. I told y'all this was where it would go. People kept arguing that, Tariq is different than Yvette. Yeah, he may be going hard on the tethers, but he only talking about certain black immigrants. He ain't talking about us trying to make us political with align with one party. He ain't down with no white nationalists. He ain't attacking Democrats. He ain't doing none of that. Look what he just did just now. I'm happy I covered this because I was about to just get off after I did the July 5th thingy, but I'm happy I didn't. I'm happy. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. You can't make this up. Exactly. V. David. Exactly. Like, this is crazy. Like, come on, man. Exactly, WT. FBA ain't doing nothing but meat riding Republicans and Donald Trump and attacking other black people and attacking actual black things. Like, to attack Ayanna Pressley for reading Frederick Douglass. What's more anti-black than that? On the House floor, no less. Like, what's more anti-black than that?
Of it. Because this is our nation. We're not guests here. We're not outsiders here. We're not de facto immigrants here. We're not at all. This is our joint. And again, old girl was reading that document from Frederick Douglass, but she left out the part where he talked about the Constitution was a glorious document. See, Frederick Douglass realized that if you throw out the Constitution, now let me back up a little bit because you got to understand something. When Frederick Douglass did that speech, there was a white-led abolitionist movement that was dominated by the.
Shout out to Carlos for coming through with the 15 Canadian. You said it was a mass white supremacist going bold. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna stay. Thank you for the warning. I'm gonna look into that and I'm gonna make sure I stay safe. Much appreciated for the Canadian 15. And you stay safe too in Canada. Now look, Tariq is about to attack the abolitionist movement to try to defend black people not wanting to celebrate the 4th of July. And he's also going to attack Frederick Douglass, because if you just heard him, he's about to accuse Frederick Douglass of being a pawn of the white abolitionists. We're gonna bring that back a little bit. Here we go.
Frederick Douglass realized that if you throw out the Constitution, now let me back up a little bit because you got to understand something. When Frederick Douglass did that speech, there was a white-led abolitionist movement that was dominated by the white people like William Lord Garrison. And Garrison and his people, they believed the Constitution was fundamentally racist. It was irredeemable. So Garrison called it a covenant with death and an arrangement with hell, or an agreement with hell. So he would publicly burn copies of it and all that. So he was like, he wanted the North to secede from the South and just wash their hands of the whole thing. Now, Frederick Douglass initially agreed with him, but later on he said, no, that's not going to work. No, because up there in the North, they ain't really no better. And he realized burning the Constitution and all that was a trap. He realized if you throw out the Constitution, you throw out the legal framework required to enforce your own freedom.
This is babble. So Frederick Douglass got tricked by the abolitionists to be anti-America, but then he realized, well, I can't be anti-America because if I'm anti-America, I'm anti-Constitution. And if I'm anti-Constitution, I throw out my own political power. Mind you, when Frederick Douglass said this, slavery was in full effect. Can't make this up. Black people wasn't even citizens. He was on the run. You do know Frederick Douglass was a runaway slave, right? And if slave catchers had caught him, he would have been returned to the plantation he ran away from at this time when he gave that speech. You do know that, right? Can't make this up.
You understand? So instead of rejecting the contract, he said, hey, we just need to enforce it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a glorious document. The problem is you have these people who are supposed to be in charge who's not enforcing it. You understand? Just honor what the hell is written down. We were the ones standing on that. We were the ones making sure that went down, and we made sure that happened. We were the ones doing that. And the thing is,
does Tariq know at the time the Constitution said black people was 3/5 of a person? And as far as I know, it meant it both ways, as in black people, for every 3 black people, that would count. In fact, 3/5 of a person. Yeah, 3/5 of a person. We wasn't even a whole person. Wasn't even a whole person. Like, you can't make this up. Like, you can't make this up at all. And I think they also switched it later to 3/5, meaning that every 5 black people would count as 3 people, as 3 white people, when it was time to use us to boost the South's numbers for the census so they get more representation. But come on now. Like, what are you talking about? We was 3/5 of a person on the document.
Douglass, he challenged people to actually read the text of the Constitution, rather than just looking at the hypocritical actions of the people who wrote it. He said, look at the words here. They didn't even put the word slavery in there. Remember, slavery is not anywhere in the original Constitution. The one they did in 1787, they don't use the word slavery. Slavery is not used in the Constitution. Slavery is not used.
Wait. He just busted my brain real quick. He said the word slavery is not in the Constitution. It might not be. Because again, I can't even remember because he's babbling so much. If it's basically frying my brain. But again, we know black people was 3/5 of a person. We know the Second Amendment was created so that slave owners could have guns and could have militias just in case it was a slave rebellion. Like, what is he talking about? The Constitution, the original Constitution, the Bill of Rights was very anti-black. Very anti-black.
And he pointed that out. Whenever the document referred to enslaved people, they use evasive language like persons held to service. So he said, hey, listen, if these so-called founded fathers were too ashamed to explicitly write the word slavery into the foundational law of the land, then that says a lot about them. They knew it was wrong. They knew that. So he said, we need to seize on that and hold that mirror up to their faces. And Douglas said, hey, we the people meant everybody. That includes us too. The Constitution, it starts with the stated purpose of establishing justice, ensuring domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, blah, 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 secure the blessings of liberty. And he argued, Douglas said, hey, those principles are universally acceptable. And if the document says we the people, it doesn't say we the white people, then foundational Black Americans are within our rights to claim full protection of that document because we.
Oh my God, you're just making up stuff now. Come on, this is crazy. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let me look at this chat real quick. Like, again, I'm not listening to that babble going crazy. Like, come on. Let me see. Yes, Nashi is not an American last name at all. He's a cornball. He's a total cornball. Oh, you say he got mad about it? That you was asking about his last name? That's good. Let me see. Shout out to Maya from Barbados. Maya Motley. Let me see. No, they always say that. They always claim some white nationalist who does some white nationalist stuff is actually a Fed. That's made up. That's made up. They always say that. Every time that somebody's a Fed. They say that for two reasons. To distance themselves from the person when they actually out here getting active, and for another reason, to justify themselves not getting active. Because if you saying, well, all the people out there is getting active as Feds, that's why you're not out there. It makes sense. Like, come on. Who caught who 3 times? Who got caught 3 times? What's that? Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 5. Yeah, Tariq is totally gone. That like that. They probably said, like, listen, it's time to turn up that heat, Tariq. Like, we want to see some, we want to really see some American flag waving. We want to really see Black people coming out here voting Republican in record numbers. We want to see that. We want to see Black people not voting for the Democrats in record numbers. We want to see that, Tariq. You need to get them numbers up. We trying to get our agenda through, and we can't do that if we lose big in the midterms. We need you, Tariq. Go hard. Watch. As November gets closer, watch Tariq go even harder. Watch.
Were the ones enforcing the document and the spirit of it. It wasn't the dominant white society. That was us doing that. You understand? And Douglas he always claimed the high ground, which is what we often do. He said by embracing the Constitution, we position ourselves as not enemies of the state, but as the true patriots trying to save the republic from the hypocrisy of the enslavers. So Douglas kind of flipped the script on him. He had a tight mouthpiece. He made the argument that the slaveholders were the ones violating the Constitution. You understand? And abolitionists and
That's not true. No slave owner violated the Constitution. No slave owner violated the Constitution. Like your daddy Trump said, black people don't deserve no reparations because slavery was legal.
the enslaved people like him, they were the ones upholding the true spirit of the American project, which is true. Which is absolutely.
That's intangible talk. For somebody who talks a lot about tangible, you're making a lot of intangible arguments. That whole nonsense that, well, slavery actually violates the spirit of America, and by us being anti-slavery, we are the ones who are being true to America and really fulfilling the idea of America, the promise of America. That's a bunch of intangible talk. That's a bunch of intangible talk. For somebody who cares so much about tangibles, you're doing a lot of symbolisms. How you say it? How Tariq say it? Symbolisms and intangibles. That's what you're doing right now. And it's starting to come off as babble.
Absolutely true. So that, family, we should celebrate the 4th, and we should celebrate the anniversary of the United States, because this is our country. We shed the first blood of the Republic, Crispus Attucks, as we know, in 1770. Our blood was the initial deposit in the Bank of American Independence. You understand?
White nationalist talk. White nationalist talk. White nationalist talk that you covered in chocolate. White nationalist talk you covered in chocolate. The black people at the time didn't feel that way. Like, imagine saying, like, you just finding fancier and fancier and fancier ways of saying that we were slaves, so we deserve some clout in this country.
They would not have won the Revolutionary War if it were not for us in many sectors, fighting in it, our labor funding it. You understand? And Foundational Black American Military, we're the anchor of this thing. They like to look at the Revolutionary War as this monolithic white endeavor, but no, there were thousands of Foundational Black Americans who picked up arms. They fought against the British Crown. We were already in the military. We fought in every single war in this country. Foundational Black Americans fought in every single battle in this country.
And what does it mean? Like, this is hoe talk. Like, let's be real. This is hoe talk. This is like a girl saying, oh, I did everything for you. I held you down while you was in jail. I took care of your kids. I let you drive my car. Caught you cheating a million times, and I kept taking you back. I put money in your pocket. I did this. I did that. I did all this for you, and you still treating me bad. Why you don't treat me good? This is hoe talk. Yes, there are non-U.S. citizens that are MAGA. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Exactly. Contradictions. Like, you was literally just going super hard about Juneteenth being our original foundation date, and how that's when we got free, and this and that and that and this. Now you sitting around here going hard for the 4th of July. For people to not only celebrate the 4th of July, but celebrate the 4th of July by being flag-waving Americans. Contradiction. This is what Frederick Douglass was talking about. Like, you keep talking about what Frederick Douglass said. How about you play what Frederick Douglass said? How about you read what he said? I bet you if you do that, people can clearly see. Well, I mean, it will be clear as day, obvious to a duck, that Frederick Douglass don't agree with what you're doing, Tariq.
From Lexington to Concord to Yorktown.
Also, Frederick Douglass was super duper pro-Haiti. You think Frederick Douglass would ever bang with somebody like you who talk down on Haitians? Come on now. Come on now.
World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, all of it. So to sit out the 250th anniversary of this country, that's to allow the white supremacist power structure to successfully erase the FBA warriors who secured the borders of this nation. See, we finance the independence. You see, establishment voices, they claim that the 4th of July was all about elite slaveholders dodging taxes to the crown. They leave out how those colonizers.
That's the real definition. That's the real reason of the 4th of July. It wasn't about no taxation without representation. It was a bunch of slave owners trying to dodge the British crown. There was a bunch of slave owners who wanted to steal Native American land. The Native American land, the same Native Americans who are the reason America won the French and Indian War. Remember, it was those Native Americans, the Iroquois in that Ohio territory, who were the ones who produced victory for America. And the British promised that they got to keep their land and nobody could touch it. And the colonists who got their butt saved by the British, by those Indians, got mad. That's the reason. That's the real reason. So now you're going against the real reason that we got independence? That the founding fathers rebelled, because there was all type of things that they could have did that they didn't have to rebel and get independence, but they was afraid that slavery was eventually going to end, and they didn't want that. Like you can't make this up. Oh, shout out to Rob for coming through with the 5. No, he ain't bringing that up. You see what he's doing right now? He's literally trying to attack people, voices who are pointing out the real reason why the founding fathers rebelled against the British crown. Look, yeah, let me let this play. Let me bring this back a little bit. Let's let them talk.
The FBA warriors who secured the borders of this nation. See, we finance the independence. You see, establishment voices, they claim that the 4th of July was all about elite slaveholders dodging taxes to the crown. They leave out how those colonizers had the wealth to fight the global superpower in the first damn place. That was from free foundational Black American labor, ladies and gentlemen.
Nonsense. Nonsense. First of all, the establishment does not promote that. People who are anti-establishment promote that. And 2, what do you mean they leave out? There's nobody who points out that the founding fathers were a bunch of slave owners who fought to try to keep slavery and to steal Native American land, who leaves out the fact that they got their wealth from being slave owners. Just by even calling them slave owners is acknowledging where they got their wealth from. That's like me calling somebody a drug dealer. By me calling them a drug dealer, I don't have to go into more detail. People know that's where he getting his money from. He sell drugs. Or calling somebody a mechanic. I don't need to go into detail about how he fixing up the cars. People, it's already self-explanatory. What he do for a living, a mechanic. Oh, that's how he get his money. Come on, Tariq.
That was the economic engine of the damn colonies. We literally financed the American Revolution with our sweat, labor, and agricultural genius, ladies and gentlemen. You understand that? Hold on, Austin, you're not coming in here. Hold on, let me block you, Austin, because you do all types of weird shit. You're not coming up here. You out of here. You're just in here making little gestures, trying to get attention. No. You come on these panels trolling. I've already defeated you psychologically, Austin. That's Austin the Tether. You're not just going to make gestures in the room. But yeah, family, we got to understand our role in this thing. We really got to understand our role in this. This thing would not have popped off if it were not for our labor and our agricultural expertise. You understand?
Agricultural expertise that came from where? And again, that was slave labor. And again, if people talking about the founding fathers being slave owners, it's obvious to a duck that's where they got their money from. Slavery. Can't make this up, man. Can't make this up. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. I celebrate Juneteenth too. And I'm doing this right now to celebrate July 5th too. Thank you. Yes, he just talking about them like they was just workers who were just being mistreated. They was being brutalized. They was being raped. They was being tortured. They was having their kids taken away from them. Yes, that's all he is. Disgusting.
And remember that I talked about the Civil War the other day, the reason why the Civil War had to pop off, because there was a deal made that slavery would not expand to the West. They stopped it in the North. They basically sequestered slavery to the South. The problem with that is, in a slave system that's so vast, that was driving the economic engine of this country, because the factories in the North relied on the raw materials from the South, by the way, and the railroad systems, all of that stuff was built off our labor. But they needed to expand. Slavery is something that, especially with the cotton industry and the agrarian industry, you can't just stay in one place. You have to expand to new ground, because staying in one place, utilizing the slave system that they had in the mid 1800s, it depletes the soil. We didn't have George Washington Carver yet giving them the game. Now, we knew what was up. We just didn't tell the white supremacists what was up. We knew how to give nutrients to the soil and all that. Later on, our good brother George Washington Carver gave him the game. But the South needed to expand, because just keep growing the same thing over and over and over again, that's soil up. You understand? So staying in one place.
Oh my God, this is Babel, and he's totally misrepresenting why the Civil War popped off. Come on now.
This shit is gonna go bad. So it's like, we gotta get out here to the West. We gotta go back to the North. We gotta expand, because we just can't keep growing the same shit over and over. It's gonna deplete the soil. So that was one of the reasons why, look, damn all this. They ain't letting us expand. We're trying to get that Dred Scott ruling, and he was pro-slavery, respect, and the Congress can't stop slavery if they want to expand it in other states. So the North.
He just said Dred Scott was pro-slavery.
Got real nervous.
Dred Scott was the like, you just got me confused now. He just said Dred Scott was pro-slavery. Now you got me thinking, was Dred Scott the judge? Was Dred Scott the slave owner? Like, you just got me confused. You doing so much babbling. Dred Scott was the guy in the case. I'm trying to get his freedom.
That's why they elected Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln won without any Southern votes. And the South said, you know what, damn that. Let's just start busting on these niggas. So we just got to know the whole context of the Civil War. And later on, our great brother George Washington Carver actually saved the agrarian South.
Tariq just be making stuff up, man. Shout out to WT. I didn't hear that one, but I'm pretty sure that's true. I'm pretty sure that's true. Like, Tariq is such a bozo. He just be saying anything, man. Exactly. Can't make this up. This, like, again, also with the Haitian point. How many black people was pro-Haitian Haiti? How much love was Haiti sending to America? They were black people. Like, people don't even know this. Haiti has a African American diaspora. Is a part of the African American diaspora. How many black Americans left America and went to Haiti to live? Yes, he's gone. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5.
Because again, these white people didn't know nothing about the soil and all that. Europe is not an agrarian culture. So it was our good brother, George Washington Carver, telling them, hey, man, we got to put nutrients and nitrates and all types of things in the soil to replenish the
Exactly. Tariq making it seem like it wasn't even that bad. He's literally doing the white nationalist work for them, the white supremacist work for them. This is the same thing that they did with Jim Crow. That's the people who started that. Jim Crow wasn't that bad. Black people had their own. Black families was together. Blah, 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 blah. They was the ones who started that nonsense. And then these bozos picked up on it and just threw hot sauce on it. Threw chocolate on it and just ran with it. Now they doing it with slavery. Come on, you trying to romanticize slavery.
soil. So you need peanuts rotated with sweet potatoes. This will get the soil back to where it needs to be. Shout out to Tuskegee. He actually saved the agrarian South. But back to what I'm saying about why we should celebrate the 4th of July and the anniversary of this country. See, you can't demand equity of an estate that you refuse to acknowledge that you're the rightful heir to it. The political left, they want foundational Black Americans to view ourselves as traumatized visitors. So we don't.
So how does the political right want us to view ourselves? How does the political right want us to view ourselves, Tariq? Inquiring minds want to know. How do they want us to view ourselves?
Demand our modern tangibles. When you say, this ain't my country, I don't want no part of it, you just legally and mentally voided your claim to lineage-based reparations, ladies and gentlemen.
So saying America's not my country, you legally voided your claim to reparations. He just said that. See, again, no nonsense. We gotta be flag waving Americans, because if we not, we can't get reparations. It's the same thing before. We gotta delineate and we gotta attack Black immigrants, or we're not gonna be able to get reparations. Now we gotta be flag waving Americans if we want to get reparations. It's the same old, same old. Oh, we gotta do this. Like, oh, isn't that coonish? Isn't that going against everything what you said before? Isn't this like a 180? Yeah, but we gotta do it to get reparations, though. That's they catch-all, be-all thing to justify all the stuff that they do. Oh, this is about reparations. Again, completely ignoring that Trump said that Black people don't deserve reparations. Oh, excuse me. The Trump administration said Black people don't deserve reparations because slavery was legal, and that the Trump administration is also working with Ed Blum right now as we speak to make reparations for Black people illegal in America. Again, that might be one of the first cases the Supreme Court touches when they get back in session. That paying Black people reparations at any level is now illegal for anything. And it'll be the Republicans who did it. I can't wait for that to happen and to see how they're gonna justify blaming the Democrats after that. Shout out to Lee D. Clinton in the building. Exactly, Nano. That's exactly what he's doing. And where he get that from? The white nationalists, because that's what they do. With stuff like Gone with the Wind and all that other stuff. Like, this is neo-Confederate talk. This is neo-Confederate talk. Exactly, Rob. That's what I said. That he just be making stuff up. Exactly. And also, the white people call Black people lazy. When the slavery first ended, they said Black people was lazy and they wasn't doing nothing. And white people had to do all the work to take care of Black people because they so lazy. According to Tariq Nasheed, we shouldn't listen to Malcolm X because Malcolm X is not FBA. Shout out to you for that comment, though.
But when you celebrate the founding and it's a public declaration of your ownership stake, we built it, we own it, and we want to collect. You see? That's a whole different position there. And understand, we civilized the Constitution, ladies and gentlemen. We civilized the Constitution. The white so-called founding fathers, they wrote a lot of nice theories on paper. They were damn hypocrites. They didn't live up to none of that stuff. Foundational Black Americans, we were the ones forcing the United States to become a function.
He said we civilized the Constitution. Bro, this nigga just be saying anything. Exactly, Nirvana. Exactly. And trying to deport them. Remember, some of the people who are being attacked and harassed by ICE the most are Native Americans. Like ICE is literally going to Native American reservations trying to round people up and trying to deport them. Mind you, these are people on the reservation. There ain't a bunch of Mexicans hiding out on the reservation. And these are people that they know are Native Americans. Okay. Of course, anybody could debunk anything that Yvette Carnell said. She was just lying her whole time, just reading a bunch of bozo on this. That was coming from, what's his name? Clarence Thomas. Another bozo. Another bozo. Exactly, one mighty and strong. He said we civilized the Constitution. He just was saying the Constitution was a beautiful document. Now he's saying we civilized it. Oh, shout out to Nirvana for coming through with the jewels. Much appreciated. Thank you for that gift. You know, sometimes I can't see the gifts, but thank you for the gift. I just happened to look at the other screen and I saw it. Thank you for that gift. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. He might be high. Remember the other night, Tariq was like, we think suspectedly he was coked up. He was coked up. Remember, he was speaking to Native Americans. He had those casinos giving them all that FBA money. And when he was there, he wasn't calling them no Siberians. He was calling them Native Americans. He was giving them their respect while he was giving them all his money. He sounded coked up. But yeah, let's get back to this. Let's let him tell us how they civilized the Constitution.
Civilized democracy. We took a flawed document that a bunch of
now we civilized democracy. But also now he's saying it's a flawed document. He was just arguing chicken butt mouth. He literally just argued not even 10 minutes ago about how the Constitution was beautiful, how Frederick Douglass said the Constitution is beautiful, it's perfect. We just need to enforce it. That's it. Now it was a flawed document.
Hypocrites wrote, and through centuries of unrelenting pressure, we forced the Republic to live up to its words, we the people. So we're not celebrating the hypocrisy of the enslavers. When we celebrate the anniversary of the United States, we're celebrating the absolute triumph of the foundational Black American legal and moral genius that saved the damn country from itself. You understand? Let's get off. We're not traumatized guests.
So we not victims. Again, this is neo-Confederate talk. Black people are not victims. So we need to just get off that. I think so too. I think so. It could be just because Tariq is an idiot. It could be both. It could be one, it could be the other, it could be both. Tariq is an idiot. He just say stuff. And I do believe they might have just tell him, like, yeah, start going after them. Like I could see that. I could definitely see that. Total bozo, total idiot. Yeah, let's let him finish up so we can get out of here.
We're not traumatized guests, ladies and gentlemen. We are the soul of democracy in the United States. That is us, ladies and gentlemen. People talk about, oh, y'all waving the American flag. It was a foundational Black American girl, Grace Wisher, who was the one sewing the initial flag. They like to talk about Betsy Ross. That was another flag. That white woman, Betsy Ross, she sold another flag that we don't even use anymore. But
was that girl the black girl you named, wasn't she a slave? Wasn't she enslaved? So she was being forced to do it. She didn't do that on her own free will. Weren't black people calling the American flag an old dirty rag? Weren't they calling it that? Also, what else did he say? He said something also very Hey, let me rewind that a little bit, because again, he's babbling.
people talk about, oh, y'all waving the American flag.
Yes, we will talk about all y'all waving the American flag. Remember, you was out here burning the American flag and hitting Color Street. So yes, maybe those people who talk about, oh, y'all waving the American flag are people who became anti-American flag by watching Hitting Colors. Like, come on now.
Was a foundational Black American girl, Grace Wisher, who was the one.
I'm not listening to no more of that. Oh, shout out to 24 coming through by gifting 5 memberships. Family, if 24 gifted you a membership, make sure you thank him and make sure you keep it going. Shout out to 24 in the building. Much appreciated. Much appreciated, bro. Thank you for that support. Thank you for all your support. Yes, Tariq is not a serious person. Not a serious person at all. Yes, she was enslaved and made to sew that flag. They told her, the white people said, hey, slave girl, sew this flag. Because they wasn't going to do no work. They made her do it. Can't make this up. Can't make this up. But yeah, let's let him finish up.
Sewing the initial flag. They like to talk about Betsy Ross. That was another flag. That white woman, Betsy Ross, she sold another flag that we don't even use anymore. But the modern flag, that was our great sister, FBA sister Grace Wisher, sewing that flag. So it's very important that we do celebrate this anniversary. When we do that, oh, y'all just trying to be like the white people. Oh, y'all trying to be like the whites. You better understand, the white supremacists don't give a damn about no America. You want to be real? I talked about this before. We got to understand something. The dominant society, man, they've run a decades-long PR campaign to fuse the concept of the United States with the ideology of white supremacy, trying to make them indistinguishable. We got to get that shit out of our system. I want y'all to stop that. When people say America is racist, no, it's not.
Oh my God. So now the white supremacists don't care about America. And now also America's not racist. Like, again, we're going to bring this back a little bit because he's almost done. Tariq took time out his day to go on a half an hour long rant about why black people need to be flag waving Americans and why black immigrants and the quote unquote political left is the enemy, but not the political right, and how we should be building bridges with racist white people. But yeah,
I talked about this before. We got to understand something. The dominant society, man, they've run a decades-long PR campaign to fuse the concept of the United States with the ideology of white supremacy, trying to make them indistinguishable. We got to get that.
They are indistinguishable. The people who founded America were white supremacists, and they founded America on white supremacist values. The Declaration of the Declaration of Independence, anti-black. What else was anti-black? The Constitution, anti-black. The Constitution that they put forward, the original 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights, anti-black. A bunch of anti-blackness baked into it. Like, you can't make this up. You can't make this up.
Shit out of our system. I want y'all to stop that. When people say America is racist, no, it's not. We are America. Foundational Black Americans, we are America. We are the culture of America. Don't let them run that. Y'all.
So black people ain't the Democratic Party? Because you said the same thing about black people being the backbone of the Democratic Party. So how can you attack the Democratic Party without attacking black people? Using this logic you just said right here, that America is not racist because we are Americans and we in America. You said black people are the backbone of the Democratic Party. So we the backbone of the Democratic Party. How can you attack the Democratic Party without attacking the black community? How can you do things to hurt the Democratic Party without hurting the black community? You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Everything, don't even come in here with that. Matter of fact, I'm going to put you on timeout so you understand. Don't come in here with that. Because again, you said something, I think it was yesterday or the other day, that came off as you was promoting the FBA ideology. And we're not doing that. Not zero tolerance policy for that. You were saying a bunch of stuff that didn't make sense. You started losing the debate. And then you started doing the FBA stuff. Cut that out. Shout out to everybody in the building. Like, again, I just put you on timeout. You could come back if you want. You could beef if you want. I don't care. But I had to do that to let you know that it's real. Do not come in here with that, carrying that conversation on from yesterday to today. Because, again, it sounded like you was pushing FBA stuff. I'm not going to say you were, but it sounded like it. And it looked like it. But if that's what you're going to continue to do, then yeah.
Oh, African shit. All right. That's why they always trying to Africanize us, making us de facto immigrants. We ain't no goddamn Africans. We have African genetics, and everybody got African genetics.
Everybody does not have African genetics. You just making that up. Come on now. We're not watching this AI video. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Dang, it's late. It is late. Shout out to everybody. No, it's not even late. It's early. But you know, I had to do that video. I had to. But yeah, let me see something else. Let me see if anybody else was celebrating the 4th of July, arguing that black people are supposed to be celebrating the 4th of July. Let's see anybody else. Let me see. Let me see something. Let me see somebody else. Let me see. We got a slow-witted buffoon still crying about slow-witted buffoon 2 still crying about, you know, that victory at the Supreme Court. Let me see. Oh, we got the Black Authority. Let me see what's going on with him. Let's see what's going on with him. We might not even watch it. You know, well, like you think Tariq babbles? Y'all think Tariq babbles? Oh my God. Y'all ain't hearing no babbling yet. Y'all think Tariq, like, oh my God. Let's see what's going on with this. Shout out to Lee D. Clinton for coming through with the 10. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yeah, let's see what's going on with this. Let's see.
Tonight on the Black Channel, the continuation of a new black media tradition here. White supremacy does not take a holiday, and neither do we. Now, folks, I'm going to be just totally forthcoming and honest with you here. I know what you want to talk about. For those of you who've been following me on Twitter, you have seen how the white supremacists have been beside themselves. I know what you want to talk about, but this is our July 4th program. And the issue is, you know, I try to do things a little bit different as far as that's concerned. I'll touch on it briefly, but there's some other things I want to deal with. We are going to do an entire program about this. She loved me. What? And they're not the only place. A number of different places we're talking about this, but the complex article from Jose Martinez.
Get to your 4th of July thingy.
What I want to do here for a moment is I want to go ahead and check in with the white supremacist males. Just to remind you all that if you thought that I was wrong a couple years back when I told you that the white supremacists are targeting the women and that that's not going to go away, that there's going to be a steady drumbeat specifically and particularly against the women, if you were under any illusions about that. Case in point, Matt Walsh, white supremacist extraordinaire.
All right, I think this is it. I'm going to slow him down a little bit.
Who lately has just become a laughingstock unto himself. But here he is posting the worst Supreme Court justices of all time have all been women. That's just a fact. Republican presidents should take the hint. He didn't spare no blows on that. He said the worst Supreme Court justices of all time have all been women. That's just a fact. Now, this is very interesting for Matt Walsh to say. Let me explain something here. Because immediately folks started pulling invoices. Said, is this you, Matt? The most shocking aspect of 2020 is that the Amy Coney Barrett Supreme Court confirmation process has been remarkably easy and smooth, all things considered. We were all expecting a fight to the death, and it hasn't materialized. Amy Coney Barrett was a bulletproof choice. Now, there were some folks in there who tried to defend that and say, well, he didn't say that she was a good choice. It's just saying that she was an easy choice to get through. So remember, that's how white supremacists do. White supremacists sit up here and start making excuses for everything and start throwing stuff out there. And that's the whole purpose of it there is that, oh, well, they said these things, but it doesn't really mean what they said that it means. It doesn't really mean that. And that dovetails off of what we've been talking about here since this week, because I want you to remember that part of it. Remember that part of it there, because they're going to twist this and turn this to whatever it is that they want to say at the time. Let me give you an example here. Now, let me go back to what I just told you. There's some folks talking about, there was some folk in this mind, well, I mean, he wasn't saying that. So what? He's now saying he was wrong like most of us. Okay, that's not what he's saying. He didn't say he was wrong. Some folks tried to attack this, talking about, well, he didn't say she was good. And somebody else said, what about this post here? Amy Coney Barrett is an impressive judge and legal scholar. Congratulating her for being a woman seems patronizing, infantilizing, and also.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to skip through it again. Wait, you said what? But you was literally pushing an FBA talking point yesterday. First of all, you have not done more work against FBA than me. Never. Nobody has. I've done more work against FBA than everybody else combined. 99% of the stuff that y'all say and know about FBA came from me. So nobody has. Nobody. That's that. I'm making that plain. So you have not done more than me. And I did it for free for years. For years when I could have been doing anything else. I could have made a whole YouTube channel about sports or about TV shows or anything else. And I would have got way more views, way more money. I wouldn't have had to worry about getting flagged down. None of that. I wouldn't have to worry about losing Twitters, losing Instagram accounts, losing Facebook accounts, losing this, losing that. None of that. And again, I don't care what work you put in, quote unquote, work you put in on FBA in the past. That don't give you no pass to say some FBA stuff today. You said I'm new to it. You're new to it. I'm not even going to go back and forth with you because you're new to it. You don't even know what FBA is really about. You don't even know when FBA started. You can't even use any FBA information without, you can't even go at FBA really without using information that came from me. Because I'm going to ask you, when did FBA start? Answer that question. Name me the timeline of all Tariq's trademarks. Can you do that? Do you know the original clip when Tariq was talking about how white nationalists wanted to give him a bag to come on his platform? No, it didn't. See, you wrong. You said FBA started when Tariq was banned from the UK. Wrong. Wrong. See, you lose the debate. You're not even worthy of having a conversation. Not even worthy of conversation. You just said I'm new to FBA, but you just talk about Tariq. FBA started when Tariq got banned from the UK. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. But again, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't. What you mean? I know you. I don't actually know you. But again, I want to say this, like, to be clear. You said some FBA stuff. You were saying a bunch of stuff, trying to disagree with me. I was smoking you. Other people in the comment section was pointing it out. And then you started saying, well, your name is Percy. You can't be a Black American with a name like Percy. You must be from the Caribbean. That's FBA talking points. You start losing the debate, and then now you start accusing people of being from the Caribbean. Like, even if they was from the Caribbean, how does that affect what they're saying in the debate? I say 2 + 2 = 4. You say 2 + 2 = 5. I show you how 2 + 2 actually equals 4 and that it doesn't equal 5. And then you accuse me of being Caribbean. Explain yourself. Tariq first got the trademark and first applied for the trademark in 2020. It got rejected because he didn't do it right. Then he had to reapply. Then he got it, and then he let it lapse. And then Michi X took it, and then he had to go to court. Then he refiled for it, and then he had to go to court and fight her for it. You said you joked, and then the echo chamber chimed in. Yeah, I didn't see that whole conversation. That's the reason why, again, I said it sounded and it looked like it. That's the only reason I didn't block you. But yeah, let me fast forward this so we can get on to something.
They're losing their minds out here, dude. Offended by that? That's perfectly fine by me. So that's a good question for you here to ponder to yourselves, as if you caught that the first time there. That's a good question for you here, because these people sit up here and tell lies about that stuff. These folks sit up here and tell lies about that. So just consider that for a few moments here. They've created a myth. They have created a myth. And what they've been attempting to do ever since is to go back and rewrite the myth. They've attempted to go back here and rewrite the myth because, yeah, that's not really serving their interests very well. So that's the issue that you have there, is when you try to convert them into Christian fanatics and Christian evangelicals, which is what we are here for today. I can take you to many places here, but let's go ahead and take you to Britannica. This 4th of July, let me go ahead and give you all an education about this. Let's go to Britannica, and then I'm going to take you to Britannica and beyond. So hang on tight for this. We're going to Britannica and beyond. The Founding Fathers, Deism, and Christianity. Okay. For some time, the question of the religious faith of the Founding Fathers has generated a culture war in the United States. Scholars trained in research universities have generally argued that the majority of the founders were religious rationalists or Unitarians. Pastors and other writers who identify themselves as evangelicals have claimed not only that most of the founders held orthodox beliefs, but also that some were born-again Christians, that some...
No, we're not doing that. Total waste of time. We're not doing that. Shout out to everybody in the building. I think I found another one of these FBA bozos that I ain't touched on. So yeah, we got to touch on this. Yeah, we're gonna go to this. Shout out to everybody in the building. Okay, this is FBA Revolt, another bozo. We're gonna see what he talking about. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let me see. Oh, shout out to Lee D. Clinton for coming through with another 5. Exactly. 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 This is why you can't. That's why I said you can't be smart and be FBA, because it's gonna turn your brain into soup. It's like anti-Semitism. It's like being a Nazi. It turns your brain into soup. No matter how smart you are, you're going to become dumb. This is why when people say, well, how could the Nazis have won World War II? They couldn't have. Their ideology was just too toxic. They could have never have won World War II. The only way the Nazis could have won World War II was to not be Nazis. That's the only way. But yeah, shout out to you for that 5, for the double up. Yeah, let's get into this. It's another FBA bozo attacking Ayanna Pressley.
And I want to say, happy 4th of July, to, the family as well, because we hear this narrative of foundational Black Americans. That brings me to my next point. We hear this narrative of foundational Black Americans. Black people shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July. Our ancestors, still was in slavery, and that's true that our ancestors still were in slavery, but I celebrate the 4th of July personally because Brother Tariq Nasheed opened my eyes to it. We're as foundational Black Americans, we're Americans. We
exactly. Another bozo saying that Tariq opened his eyes. Tariq opened his eyes. You can't make this up. Shout out to you. Oh, Chrono Trigger. I don't remember. I played that so long ago. That was a good game. I don't really remember it too much, but yeah, it was a good game. I got to get back to playing. Well, I don't have no time for that, but I wish I did. Shout out to you though.
In every war, and we directly had a hand in, most of what's going on over here in America. So, I ain't denying my ancestors, and I recognize they blood, sweat, and tears, and they toil that they, suffered over here on America's soil with building this nation. So, yeah, I celebrate the 4th of July. You know what I mean? And that's mainly, tethers and Democrats running around with that. We shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July, you know what I mean? Because with the tethers and the Democrats, they got one thing in common. They want us to be equivalent to, them. The tethers want us to be, equal to them. They want to make us, foreigners and guests in our own homeland, which is America. And the Democrats know if they can, get us to, detach from America and not recognize our American foundational Black American, lineage that, was an ethnogenesis over here on American soil. They don't owe us no compensatory justice in the form of cash reparations. So damn that, it benefits the DNC,
Again, more Tariq Nasheed nonsense, word for word, bar for bar, that we somehow got to run around and be flag waving Americans and we want reparations. Can't make this up.
To get us to feel like, guests in our own homeland. So this brings me to my next point. I want to talk about this.
Mind you, nobody else had to be a flag waving American to get reparations. Never. Nobody else had to do no delineations to get reparations. None of that. Nobody else had to create no hate cult to get reparations or side with racist white people to get reparations. Nobody.
I think her name is like Ayanna Pressley, a Democrat, somebody that's working for the DNC. And, she got up here, saying, that Black people shouldn't, celebrate the 4th of July. And she got up here, talking about Frederick Douglass, this, that, and the other, and to me, it's crazy that the DNC even talks about, Black American issues, because they're denying compensatory justice. So they ain't got no leg to stand on, talking about, Black American business and issues, and we're American as foundational Black Americans. You can't, separate us from the land, So I celebrate the 4th of July, and I got the audio and the video of, the DNC, trying to get us to detach from being American. And we're going to walk through and make it do what it do, family. Fair use.
Of July. What to the Americans?
And family, if you see this on my neck, I got my fan. It's a heat advisory in my area. It's hot as hell. I usually do my recording in the basement so I can get, some quiet, but it's hot as hell. So I got my fan on, got my rag in hand, you know what I mean? And if you out there, enjoying the 4th, make sure you stay hydrated and safe.
That's weak sauce, man. That's weak sauce. If this is your job, go do it without the fan. You ain't sickly. You ain't gonna die.
Family, because it's a heat advisory in my neck of the woods, but let's continue.
Slave is your 4th of July. I answer. A day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. In 1852, Frederick Douglass, an abolitionist, orator, and formerly enslaved man, delivered one of America's most famous speeches.
And the DNC likes to pull on Black American civil rights icons to, spread their false narrative, to try to get us to detach from the USA. And by them,
I like this guy's slow. So by bringing up Frederick Douglass and reading Frederick Douglass words, they're trying to pull on our heartstrings. Can't make this up. Shout out to what you call it? Dread Naughty Tactical in the building. Exactly. This guy's a clown. Clown. Another FBA clown. Another FBA clown. Other FBA clown.
Trying to get us to detach from the USA. The Democrats want us equivalent to immigrants, and we ain't no damn immigrants.
Why would the Democrats want you to detach from America and be equivalent to immigrants if they need Black people to vote for them?
We built this thing called America, and our thumbprint is, in every facet of American existence. You can't separate, the two. There will be no USA if it wasn't for FBA, but let's continue.
What to the slave is the 4th of July? He addressed a nation celebrating freedom while denying it to millions. With moral clarity and urgency, he exposed the stark contradiction between America's founding ideals and the lived reality of Black people, calling out a democracy that had excluded those it claimed to liberate. As our nation celebrates its 250-year anniversary, that tension still resonates. Black Americans can...
And Brother Tariq Nasheed broke it down, far better than I could. She left a great part of Frederick Douglass' speech out of that, So, go check our Brother Tariq Nasheed's latest broadcast.
Oh, so he's just basically going over what Tariq said. See, this is again slop. This is just like the quote unquote Phantom Menace, where they all just one person puts out information and they all just basically regurgitate what the other person said. So if you watch one video, you watch them all. That's what this is. Slop. He's not adding anything to it. He's just literally regurgitating everything Tariq Nasheed just said in a video he just watched. Like, let's see if he makes his own point.
That's out, he goes a little bit more in depth on better than I could do on the whole Frederick Douglass thing. But they only want to, pull up Black American civil rights icons when they could try to attach it to some DNC messaging, you know what I mean? And we ain't detaching from our, Americanness as foundational Black Americans. We had an ethnogenesis on American soil. We were responsible for building America. Our thumbprint is over every facet of American existence. And they want to do this, to deny our lineage-based reparations. They want us, to feel like immigrants in our homeland. You know what I mean? We ain't no damn immigrants, We can represent the 4th of July. That's a bunch of DNC talking points, DNC shield talking points.
Continue to confront systemic inequities that have been legislated and codified. Douglas's words endure as both a mirror and a mandate, revealing uncomfortable truths while urging us to fight for an America as good as its promise. Fellow citizens, pardon me, allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? What have I...
And if you ask me, family, it's hypocritical for the DNC to be talking about anything regarding foundational Black Americans because they know we're owed a justice claim in the form of cash reparations, and they deny that but want to pull on Black American civil rights icons and, legends. Damn that,
There are those I represent to do with your national independence.
Peace to my sister Black Love. FBA salute, my sister, and happy 4th of July to you and the rest of the FBA family.
Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence?
Shout out to Lee D. Clinton for coming through with another 5. Yes, this is proof. That's what I said. FBA makes you slower. I don't know this, bro. I don't know this dude, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't this slow. I'm pretty sure he wasn't this slow. I'm pretty sure that he was not this slow. This is FBA doing that to him. Listen, sitting around all day in the basement listening to Tariq Nasheed. That's what's doing this to his brain. That's what's doing this to his brain, man. You can't make this up. And shout out to you. Shout out to you, brother. Because I think Lee D. Clinton set it off with the 5 and helped me reach my goal. I got to the 10. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
It's extended to us. And am I therefore called upon to bring our humble offering to the national altar and to confess the benefit?
See, with me not, recognizing the 4th of July, that's like me giving a slap in the face to my FBA ancestors who shed blood, sweat, and tears and, toiled in building this damn nation.
First of all, you don't have any FBA ancestors. 2, that's you trying to celebrate the 4th of July and attack people for reading Frederick Douglass is a slap in the face to the ancestors. And again, shout out to Lee D. Clinton. You helped me get to the help me reach my goal. I got the 10. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Oh, shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Exactly. That's amazing. Not only does the Trump administration want us to be equivalent to immigrants by taking away our voting rights, they want to take away our citizenship. That's one of the things they attacking the 14th Amendment for. They want us to be stateless people here who can't vote, have no rights, but got to pay taxes and can serve in the military and can be drafted to fight their wars. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want to be able to segregate us. They want to do all that.
You know what I mean? And I'll be damned if someone makes me, feel like a guest in my own homeland after, all the sacrifice and struggle, hardship, blood, sweat, and tears my FBA ancestors went through. Damn that.
And express devout gratitude for the blessings resulting from your independence to us. The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me. The sunlight.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to the rest of this. This DNC horse crap. I just played that, to get a point across that foundational Black Americans, we're American and we got every right under the sun to, celebrate the 4th of July if we want to. Our ancestors, built this thing called America, suffered through blood, sweat, and tears, in building this nation. And with the DNC, the Democrats, along with the Tethers, want to do, because a Tether got in my comment section, saying, the 4th of July ain't to be celebrated. And he's a Tether, you know what I mean? He wants us to, be under the same, fleeing mindset, and he wants us to be equivalent to him, because he's an immigrant. He came here, he got no loyal and allegiance to, America. We as foundational Black Americans, we fought in every war, and ain't no facet of American existence we ain't touched, as foundational Black Americans. So we got every right, and under the sun, if we want to celebrate the 4th of July, and never let the DNC, try to get you to detach from that, because what they want us to do is detach from, being American and feel like guests in our own homeland, so that way they ain't gotta, produce lineage-based justice in the form of cash reparations. And we ain't letting that go away. We're gonna keep our foot on the gas pedal as far as lineage-based reparations goes.
That's enough.
But moving right along.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, pat your head, because I know you sweaty after doing that. Yes, he do look like he's smoking K2. Again, this is who FBA is. This is all they are. Tariq come up here, say a bunch of nonsense, and they just go out here and just repeat it. Word for word, bar for bar. Nobody don't know what he talking about. And you're right. He in the basement. It's like 98 degrees. He got a little bitty fan on him. He's sweating. He probably might catch a heat stroke in that basement just to sit around on his computer and to regurgitate what Tariq said. And look at him. He don't even got the mental fortitude to even watch the whole video of Ayanna Pressley talking. He not even like, he don't even understand. He just know Tariq said it's bad. If Tariq would have said, go watch that, Ayanna Pressley was telling the truth, talking when he was talking about Frederick Douglass, he would have been doing a video about how great Ayanna Pressley is. Can't make this up. Oh, shout out to you for eating breakfast, man. Enjoy that. Exactly. That basement is hotter than hell. Matter of fact, he's not even in the basement. You heard him? He said he wasn't in the basement. He said he normally does it in the basement, but he left the basement and he's upstairs now with a fan on. So this is not even the basement. It just looked like a basement. It's not a basement. It just looked like a basement. Yes, babble. Babble. You see. Shout out to Brandon in the building. Exactly. I you know, that's why I don't respect none of these FBA bozos. I almost called him I almost said the brother, but I'm like, nah, I'm not even calling you the brother. You just a dude. You just a dude. Like, come on, man. Get out of here. You think your brain about to melt? My brain is melting, bro. Melting. Exactly. Another basement dweller. But yeah, let me yeah, let's move on to something else. Let's see if we can find something else. And then we could be done with this. Because again, I just really wanted to, like, you know, touch on the 5th of July. Matter of fact, for everybody who wasn't even here earlier, I'm gonna replay this now. Shout out to everybody in the building. Watch this. Let me see. You see, am I sharing my screen? Yeah, this is for everybody who wasn't here earlier. Let's watch this.
4th of July commemorates America's independence, but we know that 250 years ago, freedom was only for a few. That's why Black people used to mark Independence Day on July 5th. On July 4th, 1827, New York became the 7th state to abolish slavery. It was a moment that Black people wanted to celebrate, and rightfully so. But how could they do it in a way that made other Americans take notice? After lots of discussion, the newly freed African Americans decided to hold a community-wide celebration on July 5th. They knew there would be plenty of parades and partying around the 4th, which meant there would be lots of drinking. And white people and alcohol can be a dangerous mix, especially when racism is involved. But that didn't stop more than 4,000 Black New Yorkers from marching down Broadway with bands playing music, going to the historic African Zion Church. There, abolitionist William Hamilton gave his acclaimed Emancipation Address. It was one of several celebrations across the state marking the end of enslavement. In the decades that followed, abolitionists continued pressing for emancipation across the country. They included Frederick Douglass, who delivered his famous speech, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July," on July 5th, 1852, in Rochester. These demonstrations were intended to hold up a mirror to the so-called land of the free and home of the brave. Today, July 4th is complicated for Black Americans. We still fire up the grill, watch some fireworks, and even do some drinking ourselves. But for us, the pomp and circumstance that decorates the rest of the country still comes with a side of irony. The 5th of July holiday is largely forgotten, especially with the wider celebration of Juneteenth. But what do you think? Is it time to run it back? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The 4th of July commemorates.
Shout out to the sister, Paris, for this. But yeah, for all you don't know, this is the reason why I even streamed tonight, because I don't know. I said tonight morning, whatever, because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to stream later on because I got to go pick up my kids. All right. This is why I'm saying we celebrate in the 5th of July, because mind you, that whole Frederick Douglass speech that Ayanna Pressley and everybody be reading on the 4th, as you just heard, he originally read that on the 5th of July. The 5th of July was Black people's way of celebrating freedom and also repudiating the 4th of July. That was a big time Black holiday. Big time. But like most Black holidays from back then, it got faded over a while. It got faded over a while. Like people just stopped celebrating it, the masses. But yeah, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. People don't even know what they're talking about. And they don't even know what they're talking about. But shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let me go through some of these comments again. Let me see. Let me see. Exactly. The basement is hell. His bedroom is the basement. His basement is hell. You know he don't know nothing about heat rising. He an FBA bozo. What he know about heat rising? FBA ain't talking about the fifth because FBA don't know nothing about the fifth. Mind you, they attacking they attacking Ayanna Pressley and Frederick Douglass for the speech about what is the 4th of July to a slave. So they damn sure ain't celebrating the fifth. They ain't celebrating the fifth. They ain't talking about bringing that back. None of that. They definitely not. Also, family, make sure y'all subscribe to all my channels too. I forgot to promote that. And also, the best way to support, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. But I take all support. Whole lot of ones beat a whole lot of nuns. All support is good support. The gifts, the super thanks, the super chat, the super sticker. Even if you ain't got no money, you liking the stream is support. You dropping a comment is support. You sharing it is support. You hitting that reaction heart is support. That's all support. Support is not just monetarily. You don't have to just support monetarily to be a value contributor to the stream. But yeah, it's getting late. It's getting morning. So I'm about to end this right now. Shout out to everybody who came through and was rocking with me. If I don't get my kids, I'll probably come back later today. But much appreciated to everybody who came through, who showed me love. Y'all don't know that when y'all come through like this, y'all show me love, it helped keep me going. And it helped me get through this. Because I'm telling you right now, for all you who was really following me for years, you know I'd be having to take like months long breaks just for my own sanity when dealing with FBA and these other hateful people. Yeah, but yeah, I'm about to end this. So, but make sure, family, y'all go subscribe to my other channels and all that other stuff. Much appreciated. Exactly. They rather attack Frederick Douglass and not even mention July 5th. Sitting here running around defending July 4th. Salute. But yeah, I'm about to end this. Let me give my shout out to people who contributed today. Shout out to Tina for coming through with the 199, setting it off. Shout out to K Maiden for coming through and joining the channel. That's another form of support. You can hit the join button and join the channel. You can do that on your own. Much appreciated for becoming a new member, level 2 member at that. Shout out to Carlos for coming through with the 15 Canadian. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 5. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Shout out to Rob for coming through with a 5. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Shout out to 24 for coming through by gifting 5 memberships. Family of 24 gifted you a membership. Keep it going. And also thank him. And again, you could raise it, you could lower it. Make sure you do that. Shout out to Lee D. Clinton for coming through with a 10. Shout out to Lee D. Clinton for coming through with another 5. Shout out to Lee D. Clinton for coming through with this 5 that helped me reach my goal for tonight. Much appreciated. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Oh, shout out to Lee D. Clinton for coming through with another 10. Much appreciated, bro. Much appreciated. Oh, Dad, you've been following me for a long time. Since the crack screen. Woo, I don't even remember how long ago that was. Also, shout out to Nirvana for coming through with the gifts. Much appreciated. Much appreciated for coming through with the gifts. I appreciate those jewels. Shout out to everybody for coming through. Shout out to everybody for coming through with the fire emojis. Everybody coming through with comments. Everything. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Shout out to everybody who liked the stream. Shout out to everybody who hit the reaction heart in the corner. Shout out to y'all. Y'all don't know how much this means to me and how much y'all help me keep this going. All of y'all, much appreciated. Hopefully, again, I could come back later today. And spread the word. Also, make sure y'all spread the word about July 5th. If y'all don't do nothing else, spread the word about July 5th. Spread the word about July 5th. Spread the word. Again, like I said earlier in the stream, when I was growing up, I thought the 4th of July and Independence Day was two separate holidays. I thought the 4th of July was a black holiday and the Independence Day was like a white holiday or I Love America holiday. So I don't necessarily have no problem with nobody celebrating the 4th of July. Because again, I'm not going to tell my family to stop celebrating the 4th of July, and I'm not going to get up here and tell y'all to do something that I wouldn't tell my own family to do. But I also want y'all to tell people, make sure they start celebrating the 5th of July also. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm definitely going to start promoting that to my family and people that I know in real life. Hey, did you know about the 5th of July? Did you know about the 5th of July? So happy 5th of July. If I don't see y'all later again, much appreciated. Thanks to everybody for coming through. Salute Lee D. Clinton. Thank you for the fire emojis, WT. Much appreciated. And I'm going to end it here. Yeah. Peace. Everybody have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever. Good for the people watching the playback, people not watching the playback, whatever. Just, peace. Let me get out of here.